Hey everybody, good afternoon. It's Vicki Williams with the Willow Group, eXp Realty. And today I have one of my all-time favorite people here, Erica Kelley. Hi, Erica.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing amazing.
That's so awesome. So Erica is a mortgage banker, a loan officer with Flat Branch Home Loans. But before I start asking Erica some questions, I just want to tell you how we met. So even though I have been in real estate for centuries, it feels like I was new to Tennessee real estate 3 years ago, and my very first time home buyer, my very first client was a first time home buyer, and she needed a specific loan type. So I'm Googling, who does this loan type in Tennessee? And all these people showed up, but I liked Erica's profile picture, her bio. She just seemed like a really cool girl. So I reached out to her and said, "Do you want to do this loan?" And she's like, "Yeah." And then it was not the easiest loan Erica's ever done, but she got it done. And so we've just been good friends ever since and support each other's business. So I love Erica. She's a fantastic loan officer in Tennessee, but also licensed in other states. We'll talk about that. So, Erica, tell us a little bit about you. How long have you been in the business? And exactly what it is you do at Flat Branch.
Yeah, awesome. Well, like you, before I say anything about myself, I just have to give the love back to you, Miss Vicki, because I adore you and your entire Willow Group. It has been such an honor just to watch you from the time that you got to Tennessee and started that transition, and watching you grow your team, watching you grow your brand, and it's just been so fun being a part of that. And I thank you for allowing me to come alongside and play a small part in all of that.
Oh, thanks, Erica.
You're welcome. So I am a Nashville native and born in Nashville, grew up about 20 miles west of Nashville in Kingston Springs, Tennessee. I'm currently in Williamson County in Fairview. And I graduated from MTSU and started my first job out of college with Bank of America. And actually, I started in the online banking financial sector when online banking was just getting started. So it was a lot of telling people to type in www into the address bar to get them to the online website and to start that financial stuff. So that was my start. And then I transitioned into retail banking. So I was in retail banking for 10 years as branch manager. I went and I managed 4, 5, 6 different branches over the next 10 years. And while you're in the branch, you really have to be an expert at many different lines of business, consumer banking, business banking, credit cards, loans, of course, our home loans. And so I got accustomed to knowing really the whole financial picture of individuals that were coming into the banking center. And then about 2014, I had the opportunity to go home and be a stay-at-home mom with my 3 beautiful boys. And that lasted about 9 months until I realized that God had better, bigger plans for me out in the world. And I decided to go specifically into just doing home loans. So I really wanted to become an expert at just one line of business. And so I chose home loans. So I started with Caliber in 2015. And I did that with Caliber from 2015 until I just recently transitioned to Flat Branch Home Loans in March of this year. So that was kind of my journey. I've loved it. I really enjoy it. I feel very blessed to work with clients in one of their most stressful and most exciting life events. And so that's kind of how I got to where I am.
And speaking of one of the most stressful life events, one thing I love about you is you actually thrive in a stressful situation. Like when it's stressful, that's when you're like, okay, let me put my cape on. I can handle this. And you really take the stress out of the transaction for both the buyers and the realtors, I feel, which is a great thing to have in a loan officer. So what's the most common misconception people have about qualifying for a mortgage, in your opinion? What do you see?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think it is, that one's kind of easy, because I do think that the majority of people, first-time home buyers, feel like that they need to have 20% of the purchase price saved up. They just automatically think and see this big looming down payment. And when you're just getting started, that can be very difficult to save that money up. Normally, first-time home buyers are younger. They've just started in their, careers. They're having babies and getting married, and they might be a little bit short on having those funds saved. So that's definitely one of the number one misconceptions. And then also, I think it's just being scared to let a professional take a look at their financial picture. So they don't want us to, finances are very personal, and they are a little nervous about letting us, lift up the hood and see everything that's under there, all the things and choices they've made in the past and what they want with the future. But the misconception is that they should wait until they're ready versus allowing a professional to take a look and help them plan to become ready.
That is genius. And would you also say, I think one of the things I see a lot is that people feel like they have to have a 750 or 770 credit score.
Oh, yeah.
But that's not true. You don't have to have perfect credit to buy a home or to get a mortgage. What would you say someone should strive for as a minimum? Obviously, the better the better your credit score, the better interest rate, the better loan you're going to get. But what's the bare bones minimum if somebody's just like, I just want to buy a house and God help me, I have terrible credit?
Well, just like I just said, to be honest, I don't really say that there's a minimum. Believe it or not, there are certain type loans that don't actually have a quote minimum on the record, because there's a lot of mitigating factors. If you've got a lot of assets, if you have, great income and not a lot of debts, then the credit score can kind of be, not as important. Now, when you're talking about like a conventional loan, and like you said, you're wanting to get the best interest rate, best terms, all of that, I would say that a 680 is kind of where the sweet spot is for those types of loans. But there's all kinds of loans that help clients that have even a 580, like FHA 620s, and again, it might be that you have a 620, but I have partners and I have ways to be able to help people. And a lot of times it's not that difficult. You might have something on your credit report that we just pay down a little bit, and that pops your rate up to a 640 or to a 680. So I always say, to let us take a peek and we'll map out a plan to really see where you're at. And I love, my favorite thing to tell clients, especially first-time home buyers, is it's not if you can buy a home, it's when you can buy a home. That's so, right. I really believe that everybody can and deserves to, be a homeowner. It's just taking the time to really map out that plan.
And just be intentional about how to get there, right? Just you have to have a roadmap. You just don't go willy-nilly out there in the world trying to do things.
Yeah, I will say that you have to kind of do what we tell you to do to be able to get there. So if you've made some choices, or like, let's say that, coffee is really big on your list, we might say, hey, why don't you, not drink the coffee and stick that money in the savings account so that you can have, become a homeowner sooner than later kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, everybody can make those choices, I think, to become a homeowner eventually.
I love it. So what do your clients love most about you? What do you think? They just rave about Erica because she is blank. What is that?
I mean, I am pretty funny.
You are funny. I love it.
No, I mean, honestly, I think that I am genuine. I really do care about my clients. I don't want to just be a one-time transaction. I really want them to see me as part of the family, to call me when they have questions, whether it's been a year or 2 years since, we did their transaction. Clients move up, they move down, they downsize, they, get into investing, all kinds of things. So I really want them to think of me as their expert that they can go to. And then kind of back to what you said about the communication, I really do think that clients enjoy the fact that I'm going to communicate to them. I'm going to let them know when to stress, when not to stress. I'm always making sure that my partners and my clients know where we are in the process. And they feel comfortable where I can take that stress off of them and they can do the things that, is way more fun. I tell them I'm the boring paper pusher. You're the one that gets to go find them that dream home with all the fun, fancy stuff of, where they can see themselves. So, I would say probably communication is the biggest thing that I get that they enjoyed.
Well, and I also love that you are so available and so responsive. I mean, we literally had a transaction together, Erica and I did about a year ago. It's been almost a year ago when I reached out to her. It was in the craziness in the market. And I'm like, hey girl, like, what are you doing? She's like, I'm on the basketball court. Or yeah, it was basketball, right? You're in the bleachers. And I was like, I need something. And you're like, I've got my laptop, girl. I've got you. What you need? And you're like literally in the bleachers with your kids, but you're helping because your clients, your family comes first, of course, but your clients are also a priority to you. And I love that. I love that you don't just have the Monday through Friday 9 to 5 mentality. So that's great because in this business you can't. So you recently made a move to Flat Branch. You were with Caliber forever, and I know you love Caliber. There's a lot of great things about Caliber. You were at Caliber, we met, of course. Yeah. But now you've been at Flat Branch for a couple of months now, since March. And what do you love most about your new home?
I mean, and it was a big transition in the sense of that, I am a very loyal person. It's very difficult for me to make those changes because, there's good in everything, but there is an opportunity really to what I feel like to become, a part of a family. And it is they just care so much. They care from the beginning to the end. They're really about looking at, just smart, intelligent, how can we get these clients in this home? And I just love that. I really felt I feel very supportive. It's quick there. It's a very painless company to work for. And they're genuine and they care so much. Like I got a gift card in the mail last week and it's a Publix gift card. And it just said, we know that times are tight right now. Enjoy, some groceries on us. And it was just a very thoughtful thing that, companies don't do that. And a lot of companies don't do that anymore. And they just really want to make sure that you're, cared for and taken care of. And that, trickles down to the clients too. So, everyone that is in the company wants to help. And it doesn't matter if you're another loan officer or if you're in processing or underwriting or marketing, it's a big team and everyone wants everyone to succeed.
Speaking of teams, when you went over to Flat Branch, you took your amazing assistant, Shannon, with you, who I adore.
Yes.
Shannon is wonderful. So for those of you out there that have ever gotten a mortgage before, you know the value of having a great processor, someone to help your loan officer get you to the finish line. And Shannon's amazing.
Amazing.
So, there's a ton of mortgage lenders out there, Erica, just like realtors. And as a realtor, we have to find our way to set ourselves apart, to bring maybe a different value or a different perspective to our client that they are looking for. So what would you say differentiates you from other mortgage lenders? I know we've already kind of touched on it, but let's touch on it.
Well, I mean, definitely the communication portion of it is huge for me, just because I think that a lot of times people feel, left behind. A lot of my first time home buyers just feel like that they have dumb questions and that, they're going to ask all of these questions and they feel like they're supposed to know everything. And, it's just an honor to come beside them and to say, look, I asked the same questions, and I didn't know it before I knew it. So we're all in this together. So I really just like being differentiator. Most of us can do the same products. A lot of us sell the service aspect of it. But I do think that clients just think that I communicate well. I'm genuine. I'm very solution driven. So I feel like that we're going to have problems. There's going to be bumps because this is just one of those transactions that have a lot of moving parts and have a lot of people that have to be on point to get this to, have a good experience. So when we find a problem, then I just say that that's a, opportunity to find a solution. So I'm not looking at that as like, oh, we got to freak out. It's just, okay, well, where do we have to look for the answer? Because there's an answer out there. We just, have to find it. So, first time home buyers all the way up to luxury $1 million homes, I feel like I can work with all of those clienteles equally and meet them where they're at. So, yeah, I think that's.
Well, I've never had a transaction with you that didn't make it to the closing table. So when you pre-approve someone, you also make darn sure that when you put your stamp on that letter, that they're going to get to the closing table. Unless they do something crazy like go, buy a brand new car the week before closing or something like that. But more or less, like, you do a great job of also funneling everything in the beginning to make sure that they're going to get to the closing table.
And there's some differences between lenders and that of the pre-approval or the pre-qualification portion of it. And you're exactly right. Like and it's not even about my brand as much as it is, I would never want the sellers, the buyers, and the agents to be put in a position where I didn't do my due diligence and my job up front to make sure that things that were missed, that I didn't take the time to do it. So I tell the clients a lot of times, in the very beginning, hey, this is going to feel like I'm ripping off a Band-Aid because I'm asking you for all of this stuff up front, but I promise you, this is going to make for a much smoother and better experience because I have all the information up front, and then you don't have to stress about it. You're not going to be getting calls from me going, oops, I forgot this, or I forgot to ask you about this. So upfront is always better.
Amen on that. Okay, final question. I so appreciate your time today. Now, this is the easy one.
Oh, good.
How can people reach out to you to ask about, because not only do you do new mortgages, but refinances, home equity lines, investor products. So how can people reach out to you to learn more about what you do and how to apply and all of that?
Yeah, they can call me, of course. My cell phone is always on. So 615-423-3095. And then, I'm on Facebook. It's the Erica Kelley group. So if you look me up on Facebook, the Erica Kelley group, and I'm sure we'll put a link on here for my actual website to apply, to actually apply. Those are great ways to find me. I'm, of course, on LinkedIn and Facebook and Twitter and all of those pages, but probably Facebook. And then my website is the easiest way to get a hold of me, unless you got my cell phone, which you do now. So you can call me. And I'm happy to help and answer any questions and, kind of lock arms with you and them and be able to help them, find their next dream home.
And you're not only licensed in Tennessee, but you're also licensed in Florida.
I am.
And any other states right now, Erica?
Not right now, no. You need your Tennessee
commonality we have.
Beach home.
Yeah. So,
but I will say this. I have partners all 50 states. So if there is somebody who is, wanting to, buy a home in Alabama, I can still get you pre-approved and get you ready to go, and then connect you with one of my awesome, rock star partners in another state with Flat Branch and be able to get you to the table as well.
And then I can connect them with an awesome rock star realtor with EXP. So we can totally take care of them.
All 50 states.
All 50 states. Are the kids back in school?
Girl, yes.
Are you happy?
Yes. Well, I love my babies. They're in, I've got 11, 12, and is that right? Yes. Well, they're turning 12, 13, 14 this month, actually. And so
all boys.
I know. So they all were in school yesterday for my first full day from the summer, because I've been working out of my office, and it was a little weird because it was so quiet. Good weird. I love them, but it was like, oh, I like this quiet.
Well, y'all have had a great summer, beach trips, and I know you're ready to get back into sports mom action and all that fun stuff again, though. So
I love some football, girl. I am a
football
fanatic. Thankfully, God knew to give me 3, that I was supposed to be a boy mom. That's
there
for sure.
Go. Yeah. There you go. Well, Erica, thank you so much. We've been talking about doing this, and I'm so glad it worked out that we can both get on each other's calendars today. So, guys, Erica Kelley, Flat Branch Home Loans. I'll drop a link to her social media when we post this video. And she's amazing. So we would love to help you together. We'll be a great team. You, me, and Erica will get things
Yeah.
done.
Oh,
All right,
love you so
Erica.
much. Thank you so much for having me on here, and looking forward to the next one.
Absolutely. Okay. Have a great week.
Bye, you too.
Bye.